into Life is a Sacred Journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Micheal Pope.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. It is my pleasure and honor to be with you this morning. My name is Micheal Pope, and I am the host of Life is a Sacred Journey. So if you are here for the first time, welcome. It's a little cold here this morning. And if you are here for the 5th or 100th time, again, welcome. Here's a big hug to you. And write in the chat. Let me know who's there, who's out there. I'm looking. I'm going to open my phone and see who's there so I can say good morning. You've joined us for a pondering moment. This is our pondering time. Let me see who is here, if anyone. Yeah, look at my inquisitive, crazy face. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope that you are having a great morning. I hope that you slept well. I hope that you are feeling engaged in your life, and that you find joy today somewhere in your life, whether it's in a conversation with another person, whether it's sitting at a coffee shop and people watching, or if it's just being by yourself and communing with Mother Nature. I just pray that you find a place where you can find joy and peace. So welcome to Life is a Sacred Journey. You've joined us for our Friday Ponderings. And those come out of this noggin from the week's experiences. I want to, first of all, talk a little bit because in our life, this week I learned that somebody close to me has passed away. I did not know that person did pass away until this week. Her husband informed me. And this is not somebody that I spent a great deal of time with, but it is somebody that I know, that I had a great deal of respect for. And it made me realize that life is just so very important, and that, I know that, we know that, but every time somebody who we expect that's going to be with us for a longer period of time, or you get that sudden call that this person has now passed away, and that breath of life is no longer with them and with us, you begin to realize how special and great and wonderful every second of your life is. And I had a moment of guilt, because I felt like, why didn't I know? And I didn't know because the family didn't share it. It wasn't something that they shared. But I now, just feel so like we gotta just take those moments with people when you think about them. When I'm a big card writer, because I have to be honest with you, I don't like talking on the phone. I've never been like one of those chatty up people on the phone. But that said, there are people in my life that's the only way I can communicate with them. They're not big texters or whatever. And so, because of do what matters most, I have learned how to add those things, and I'm still learning. I'm still not great at it. I'm not great at anything other than just being me on a day-to-day basis. I try to get it right every single day, but I fall every single day. I stumble, and I just have to pick myself off and dust the dirt off and keep it going. And apologize when necessary. But pick up the phone, buy a card, send a text, send a DM, whatever it takes. And don't be worried that if the person doesn't respond. If they don't respond, it doesn't matter. It's not about their response. It's about you reaching out and letting somebody know, you know what, at this particular moment, I always like to write, at this particular moment, you have just danced across my heart. Because that's usually what happens. I can be doing something, and then in the middle of that person pops up, and I get a warm fuzzy, because it's usually somebody that I love. And so, but I haven't shown that love to them. And, Time is not it is our friend in some ways, but it is really the enemy of our procrastination when it comes to the things in our life. So let's not make the love that we have for others something that we procrastinate with, because the day might come where you might not be able to tell them that, and you don't want to live with the guilt of how with that and how that feels. All right, so now we're in the month of June, the merry, merry month of June. And I know it should be the merry, merry month of May, but now I've made it the merry, merry month of June. And I spent the whole month of May after May 11th, and thank you again to all of you who helped celebrate my next rotation around the sun. And I celebrated my birthday as much as I could in small ways, and, purging. I'm always purging, getting rid of things, because I just feel like sometimes I've collected too much stuff. And so I try to purge and get rid of those things. But I feel like in my 60s, in the last 6 years, I have really learned to like myself. Like truly like myself. Even the parts of me that I know are just, oh gosh, they're the Darth Vader side of me. And, there's a dark side. But I like myself, and I know myself, and I know what pushes my buttons, and I know why I react to things. And so, when we accept ourselves and love ourselves for who we are, and realize that our life is a sacred journey, and that we're living it every single day, every single second, every single moment, even when we're asleep. Yeah. We began to appreciate ourselves, others, and every experience, good or bad. We realize that yin and the yang thing is, it's real. That's the real deal. That you can't have, you have to have a balance, and the balance of bad to good, or what we perceive as good or perceive as bad. It has to be there, because then what happens is you begin to appreciate the good. You appreciate the good more, right? I'm doing that because that's how the yin and the yang look. You begin to appreciate it more, and you begin to realize what a blessing it is when you're in those moments of good and peace and joy and happiness, and you embrace it with all your heart, because around the mountaintop, over the border, and down the bend, something is going to happen that's going to hurt your heart. And it may not be in your life personally, but in the world around you, because you feel and you care about the world around you, and you're building up your power so that you can get through those moments. So I think as we get older, and we age in place and have the honor of living a long life, we finally learn to like ourselves, and we finally learn to self modulate and to correct in a quicker way, because we're not afraid of saying, I'm wrong. Yeah. I've done a lot of that in the last year, where I've had to, really say I was wrong in that situation. I perceived that wrong. I really need to take time at some point to apologize. And when I'm within that person's presence, all those kinds of things. And so I think getting older helps that. And then also that internal beauty that comes out of a person when they're shining, when they're in a moment of happiness. I just saw a picture of my friend Nancy, and she was with some other, I don't know if they're friends, colleagues, I wasn't sure, but they were happy in that picture. It was like coming off of them, like the Care Bears. I haven't talked about them in a while, but like the Care Bears, just all this love and yum, 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 just being together. And so appreciate that internal beauty in other people. Let's not still get, I think the 21st century, we're kind of in the middle of it here, and we want to be able to move into a different way of appreciation of each other. And it's not about the it's not about this outer layer. It's about that internal beauty that does come out when you look at someone and your eyes sparkle and shine, or your skin gets flushed with blushing and laughter, or that hearty laugh when your belly gets so sore that the next day you recall what made you what tickled your fancy. So appreciate internal beauty and allow that internal beauty to flow free, so it not only lifts your life but lifts the life of others. You become true to yourselves. We become true to ourselves, true to ourselves. And so being true to ourselves is so important. Like, I know every nook and cranny of me. I know the dark sides. I know the I know all of it. And some of it I'm working on, and I'll probably be working on it until the day I take my last breath. But being true to yourself is so important. And while you can take in other people's advice and their perceptions of you, all good, but be true to yourself, and really look at yourself and know who you are, and take advice, absolutely, but boy, don't let people tell you who you are. Know who you are, and then their advice only becomes a candle in on the cake. Know your worth. Know your worth. When you, I keep telling you folks that have been with Life is a Sacred Journey family for a minute, there was a time that I didn't understand my worth. And I don't mean the dollar, because dollars, if you looked at that, I probably, in the world, I would have no worth if that was how I was being measured, is by how much investments I have, what property I own. Then I have no worth. But I have a lot of worth, and our worth comes in when we measure the things that we're passionate about, and the things that we go out into the world every day and try to change. And your worth is so much. You're rich in worth when you understand that we are our brother's keeper, that we are responsible for the world, we are responsible for the changes that need to take place, and all of the laws and all of those things. We are responsible. So know your worth. The human life, as I said, is so precious. None of us are, every morning since my birthday, and it'll wear off in time, I wake up thinking, I'm still here. I did that before, but now I'm really doing it. Because there comes a time where your mortality, you understand the preciousness of it. And that every time you close your eyes, it could be the last time you close them. And so knowing your worth means you did something in that day that you brought your best self. And you knew that when you brought your best self to that situation, that it was going to be okay. And even when you measure your day, if you're somebody like me, I'm a disc and a D in the disc profile. I'm a type A personality. My measurement of my success and how much I get done in a day is like, it's off the charts, right? But that said, I know when to stop. I know when to be okay. I know when to ask for grace of others, because I've put too much on my plate, and I just need a few more minutes to get it organized and get it put together. Know your worth, so that when you need that you can go out and say that and be comfortable with that. I try never to let anybody down when I've set a goal with them, or a time frame with them, or when I have deadlines. One day I'll take you on a tour of my office. I've got this huge dry erase 4-month thing up there that changes month to every 4 months, and I'm always plotting and planning everything that I'm doing. So it's right there visually in front of me. I'm a visual person. So know your worth and then do the best you can to share that with the rest of the world. I already said, recognize that life is precious because it is, and it's getting shorter. For some of us, not for all of us, because the Life is a Sacred Journey family is multi-generational, and so not all of us, but it's always getting shorter, no matter what age you are, right? Every day, all right? But life is precious, and be grateful for every day, every second. Be open to love. I think this is the coolest thing. Being open to love means being open to love yourself as you are, and then open to love other people as they are. You want to give it, you want to receive it, you want to give it, you want to receive it, and you want to love people with so much like, I just love you, love you, love you. Don't smother them with, because when you smother people, they run away. But but love them as much as you can and tell them that you love them. Because then that really makes people feel good. You know how you feel when somebody says, "Oh, I just love you." This morning, I woke up to a beautiful message from a friend and I love you. And it just felt so good. It was like, oh yeah, wow. I had already said my prayers and done my morning ritual and went to the phone because the phone is in the front of the house when I go to bed at night. And yeah, it's cool. It's just cool to be loved and it's good to give love. And you know what? Don't be afraid of it. There's times that I have been where I've stopped myself from doing something, saying something because I didn't know how it was going to be received on the other side. And at the end of the day, even if it's not received the way that you intended, your intentions of it, it won't do anybody any harm to tell them that you love them, even if they don't love you. What harm will that do? It won't do any harm. It'll make you feel better because you've given away some of your love that day. And you know what? As quiet as it may be kept by the other person, even if they can't say, I love you, because their intensity of emotion for you is not to the word of love in their mind or in their heart, still tell them you love them. And they're going to feel better too, because everybody likes to be told that they are loved. Okay. All right. And realize that no matter how old we get, no matter who we are, we have contributions to make to the greater good. The greater good needs us, and we need to contribute to it in any way we can. I don't have a whole lot, but I give of my time when I can. I give donations when I can. They're not big. I spread them out. I come up with an amount every year and I spread them out. ASEP is my number one place. And then I go out, to MS because my mom had it. I do different things, cancer because I had it. I just try to make sure that the things that matter to me where I can't be physically there to contribute to the success of eradicating the disease or helping the other, I try to help where I can. And then, when I can be a foot soldier in those places where some people are afraid to go because I'm not afraid to go there, I go. And I try to be that hand that reaches up or down or around to tell somebody you matter and your life matters. And how can I help you? What do you need in order to make another hour in life? I no longer say make another day because we know that's a long time. But how can we help somebody live another hour? Another hour of food, another hour of comfort, another hour of communication from another human being. Maybe sit and talk with that person or just sit and not talk to that person, but be there as a living presence. I don't know, but use the power. Use the power of good. We every day there's so much violence in this world. I have to say this now because it just came up for me when I said that. We've got mothers committing suicide with their children. We've got a woman who used the stand your ground rule, law, whatever, to kill another woman, but out of her own bigotry and racism. And they were talking about toys and the sound of children. Wow. We've got people committing heinous crimes against humanity. And sometimes it's hard to see the good. But those of us that are that light, those of us that are searching, believing in the power of the collective, we've got to speak up. We've got to push for these gun rules, these gun laws. And I know people going to come in on me on this one because they always do. Always do. And I'm not saying you don't have the right to protect yourself. I'm not saying you don't have the right to go if you're a hunter and you hunt, or even if you shoot game to eat. But the human race is not a safari. We shouldn't be going out picking and choosing who we're going to kill on any given day. The other is mental health. Mental health. We speak about it like it's we talk about it, we invest money in it, but the way we go about addressing it, it's more predicated on medications and we really need to get to the source of the mental health. We've gone 18th, 19th century, 20th century, 21st century, and we are now the most violent. We've gone back to Sparta. We're just like, blood, blood, blood. And we really need to sit down in our communities and figure out what the heck is going on. Mary Poppins, where is she? She's over here. Mary Poppins, we need you in every community. Because something's wrong and we need to do something about it. We need to have forums in our faith-based communities. We need to have forums in our churches. We need to have forums in our schools, forums in our place of work about violence, even in the workplace, because sometimes the violence comes from our very mouths. We need to talk about violence on the streets, in our neighborhoods. We need to talk about violence. And we need to bring those forums and coffee shops when we need to talk about violence. Because good must overcome. And we need to move into a time of peace. We need some peace in the valley because COVID really beat us up. The gun violence and the violence against each other because of our ethnic backgrounds or our culture or how we were created. And we just don't get it, So it's time. It's time for a change. Babies are still being born. People are still dying. Life still goes on. But can we just try to make a change? So use our power for good, man. We got to use it. Come on, Care Bear people, where are you? Let's get the power. Where are you? Where's the superhero people out there? Where are you? We need you now to spread the power of good and the power of love and the power of patience and the power of grace and the power of empathy, the power of forgiveness. Not only of others, but of yourself. We need all that now so we can move forward. And walk as if you know that this world is your world. Walk around in it as if you know this is your world, this is your planet, this is, hey, look at me. But not pompously, but in a way of, good morning, neighbor. Good afternoon. How you doing? Can I give you a hug? We walk around here like, like we're not, like we're the only individuals walking around, and we forget that there's other people around. I walk by every person here when I go for our walks here with the team here at Berkeley, meaning the participants. I like to walk with them, and we go up to the Berkeley Library bookstore, and we get the free books, and I love that place. Or even when we buy them, they're very inexpensive. And I say hello to every person. Even when they don't say hello back, who cares? I don't care. Who cares? I don't care. They probably think I'm crazy because we don't do that. Yeah, I bet you they do. I think most people probably think I'm insane when they meet me because I'm always saying hello, good morning, how you doing? Thank you. Hope you have a good day. Boy, you look nice. I love that outfit. Oh, those shoes are great. Oh, your haircut. That's fabulous. Have a good weekend. I think it's okay. We need to reach out to each other in a loving and caring way. And I keep walking. I'm not trying to stop. And, sometimes I do because somebody will be like, oh my gosh, I love your outfit too. And then we'll start talking and and I make a new friend at the Jiffy Lube a couple of weeks ago when I had my oil change done because I needed it to go to Aptos. I started talking to the man next to me, and it started on the basketball tournaments and things. And then it moved into his family and his daughter. And then it moved into the neighborhood because he had just moved from Petaluma to my area where I live. And it was a great conversation. Before he left, he asked me my name, and I told him, and we shook hands. And then we both went to the hand sanitizer thing. We laughed when we both did that, but nobody was like, oh my God, he shook my hand and now he's at none of that gobbledygook. That's just such a waste of time. And we did that. And then I said, you have a blessed weekend. And he said, you too. And that was it. And ask me now if I remember his name. I do not. But that doesn't mean I don't remember the experience. And yeah, that's life. We crash into each other with an opportunity to show I'm in this game with you, bro. I'm on this planet with you. And I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. Let's equalize this. Let's communicate. And yes, we're going to fall. I fall all the time. I've fallen a couple of times this week. And I don't say that lightly because I've been repenting on those couple of times. They've been heavy on my heart. But that's okay. That's what life is about. We move, we correct. It's like driving a car on a 360-degree curvy road. You're constantly correcting and maneuvering as you go. So before we leave for today on Life is a Sacred Journey, and thank you so much for being here, I want to do, because I've been told how much, I keep getting wonderful feedback from some of you out there about the If book, The Questions for the Game of Life by Evelyn McFarlane and James Saywell. I'm going to try to find them and see if I can get them to come to Life is a Sacred Journey so that I can find out how they chose these questions and, what was the aha moment that made this book come about. But I've picked 2 or 3 of them to end our time together. So here we go. Are you ready? This is our If time to all of you who haven't done it with us before. If you were to have a portrait painted of yourself, what would you choose as the setting? If you would have a portrait painted of yourself, what would you choose as the setting? It's a good one. Write in the chat. I don't know what mechanism you're using, whether you're listening through our podcast or if you're on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, but write it down. Get an if journal. So here you go. Here it is. If you were to have your portrait painted, what would you choose as the setting? And I just think it would be, oh, wow. Where would I want to be? Oh, I know where I'd want to be. I've always wanted to go to the Amazon rainforest. So I would want my portrait painted in the Amazon rainforest with the background being so lush. And I would be there. I want to be there like as an advocate saying, leave her alone. So I want to have the background of the Amazon forest and all her beauty and all her lushness and life-giving air, essence, and everything. But I want my portrait to be like this, like save her. Don't you take her down like that. So if you were to have your portrait painted, what would you choose as the setting? All right, here's another one. If you had to pick the worst television series ever made, what would win? If you had to pick the worst television series ever made, what would win? So I'm going to have to go back in time because I haven't watched television in a long time, and particularly not serial stuff. Because, I know okay, I can do this. If you had to pick the worst television series ever made, what would it be? Those reality shows, where the women are throwing the drinks in the other woman's face and throwing tables at other women and slapping their butts and asking the other woman to kiss it. To me, those are the worst series. Why? So, if you had to pick the worst television series ever made, what would win? Okay, what would it be for you? And here we go. If you could reverse the ongoing extinction of any animal now endangered, which animal would you choose to save? Which one? Which one? If you could reverse the ongoing extinction, I'm saying, wow, can't talk this morning, of any animal now endangered, what animal would you choose to serve and to save? For me, it would be the whale. I think the boats are destroying them. I was watching a documentary. They're getting cut. Their babies are getting caught up in nets, and it's just it continues to be something where the whale is fighting for its life, and so the whale would be the one for me. Okay. So the last one for today, if you were to be given an acting role in a current TV show, who would you want to play in a current TV show? Who would you want to play? The only TV show that's coming to my mind that I love is the British baking show. So I'd want to be either Pre or Hollywood, one of them, because I can't bake. I'm a great cook, but I cannot bake because I don't have. Yesterday I made a cornbread for the participants and came up here, started doing something else, and of course I realized the cornbread was done because I could smell it burning. Baking requires timing, and you have to move, and cooking does too. But I don't know. I have a tendency to put things in the oven and walk away, and that's the worst thing to do. And then I never bring the timer with me. I don't bake very well. So I would love to be Pre or Hollywood in that baking show, doing. Yeah, baking and judging the baking. That's who I'd like to be. All right, friends, happy Friday to you. Those of you that follow me on Facebook this time last week, or not just this time, but later in the afternoon, I was leaving to go on a trip to Aptos, and went to Aptos, and was with a group of beautiful, 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 beautiful young people. I don't have their permission to say their names, but shout out to you guys, because I'm hoping that you're watching. And I just want to continually say to you, you're magnificently, wonderfully made, and you are brilliant young people. They're going to be going into high school, all of them, in the fall, and they are the future leaders of the whole world, the whole universe. And thank you for teaching me. And I hope that I shared something with you. So, suicide hotline. As I said to you, in San Jose, there was a mom and her children that were found, and they believe it was a double suicide, or triple, because I think there were 2 children. And so this is real. People are living with depression and anxiety, and to the point where one feels taking their own life is the only way out. I live in and out of spaces of depression, you know, when I do. I wouldn't lie about that. I'm just very, 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 very blessed that I've worked on it all these years. And so I kind of have a way of moving in and out of it, not seamlessly and not unscathed, but I can move in and out of it. But for those of you and us out there that need that kind of support, meaning you're feeling like your life is not worthy, and this is the time that the world would be better off without you, it's not true. And that's just all that darkness telling you that. And we want you to know it. Life is a sacred journey. Your life matters. You are a unique creation, and you deserve to live another minute, another hour, another day, and for a long time to come. So if you need support and help because you're in that dark side, please find a phone, find someone to help you, text or call 988. It is the suicide hotline. Again, this is a hard time in our universe. People are burnt out, sad, depressed, living with anxiety, so they're getting a lot of calls. If you call and the line is busy, or they put you on hold, or whatever the situation may be, don't give up. That's not a sign to say give up. That's a sign to say help is on the way. So 988, share that, folks. You know, if you have a workplace or actually, we're going to start putting it in our newsletter. I'm going to remember to do that. Just put it anywhere that you send something out on a regular basis. So, because depression and anxiety and all of these things are silent killers. People know how to mask and to come at you with their best selves. And it takes a lot of energy for them to come at you with their best selves. And then they go off and they plummet. And you're not around to see it. So let's give that 988 number out wherever we can go and help people. Let's find resources in our communities so that we can be aware of how to help those in need. Well, have a great weekend. I hugged many trees last week. Oh, last weekend I was in tree heaven. You can see them on my Facebook. I took pictures of them, and they told me to tell you hello. So have a great weekend. Go out and hug a tree, pet a dog, pet a cat. But make the world a better place in whatever you do. And remember, start with your inner world. Make it a better place for you to live. And then, therefore, then you can go out and make it a better place for others. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And be the change. Peace.